Hello, welcome to another episode of our live stream. I don't know what happened here. Lost my picture. Let me see if I can fix this here. I know how hard it is to not see me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on here. Oops, maybe this will do it. Oh, there. Sorry about that. Um, yes, so welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. Good morning, Marion. The Lord bless you. And so we're going to see, um, this is a verse of the Quran that has always kind of makes you wonder. It's chapter 4, verse 3 of the Quran. And it says, if you fear you might fail to give the orphan women their due rights if you were to marry them, then marry other women of your choice, 2, 3, or 4. That's not really what it says. In the Arabic, it says if you are not able, if you fear that you won't be able to be fair with your orphan girls, and it doesn't say women, it just says orphans. In the Arabic, it just says orphans. And خفتم إلى تقسطوا في اليتامى. Yatama means orphans. It does not mean grown women. Now, in order to rescue this verse from the inevitable criticism that it's going to get for seemingly encouraging very perverse child marriage, they added the women to make it women. I don't like Mustafa Khattab, but I much prefer Pickthall and Yusuf Ali and Halali Khan. Okay, these are the 3 Qur'ans I prefer to have. And so let's see how they say it. It says, and if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with orphan girls. See, this is a little bit more truer to the Arabic, then marry. And it doesn't say other women, women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. And that's not really correct either, because the verse in the Quran doesn't say 2 or 3 or 4. It's muthna wa thalatha wa arba. Monday, 1, 2, 2 and 3 and 4, which actually equals 9, like Muhammad had 9 wives. 9 lives. Hello, Andrew. God bless you. So anyway, I've always wondered about what the heck is this verse saying. This is the keystone of polygamy in Islam. This is marry inkahu ma taba lakum in Arabic. It's just, and the word is not marry. Let's see if Pickthall's a little bit more honest. And if you fear that you will not deal fairly with the orphans, marry of the women who seem good to you, 2 or 3 or 4. No, that's not what it says. And it doesn't say marry. It doesn't say marry. The word in Arabic is the worst word in the Quran, but it's there many times. It's nikah, fa'inkahu, fa'inkahu. It does not mean marry. Marry in Arabic is tazawwaj, tazawwaj. Inkahu means to have sex. Mataba lakum min nisa, what you can get of the women. مثنى, two, ثلاث, وأربعة. Okay, 2 and 3 and 4, which is 9. خفرتم إلى تعدلوا فوحده. And if you fear that you cannot be just, then just one. Oh, ما ملكت أيمانكم, or what you own of the sex slaves. ملكت اليمين, أيمانكم. ذلك إدنى تعالوا. Okay, let's look at how they translate it here. Pickthall. And if you fear you will not deal fairly with the orphans, marry of the women who seem good to you, 2 and 3 and 4, because it's not 2 or 3, it's 2 and 3. And if you fear you cannot do justice to so many, then one only, or the captives that your right hand possess. Thus it is more likely that you will not do injustice, except to those captives that your right hand possess. Says Yusuf Ali, if you fear you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphans, marry women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. I know it's 2 and 3 and 4. But if you fear you shall not be able to deal justly with them, then only one, or here it says a captive that your right hand possesses. That's not what it says. It says ma malakat aymanakum in Arabic. Okay, ma malakat aymanakum, whatever your right hand possess. So if you have 50 little slave girls, you can have sex with them. That will be more suitable to prevent you from doing injustice. One thing I always wondered, what's the connection of the orphan girls to this polygamous setup here? How did the orphan girls fit into this very strange verse? It's you just read this passage, huh? Yeah. So what is the connection? If somebody knows what the connection is, please come up and I'll put the link here. And if you know what this means, please come up and explain it to us. I'm interested in knowing what is the connection between the orphan girls and all these women that you're going to be marrying. Okay. Because it's not really clear here. It says, if you fear that you won't deal, if you don't feel that you'll be, if you don't feel that you'll deal fairly with them, then marry the orphan girls. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm going to look at Ibn Kathir. Okay. Oh, here. A man was taking care of a female orphan that he married her, although he did not desire to marry. That girl's money has mixed with his, and he was keeping her portion from her. Afterwards, this ayah was revealed about his case. Thank you very much, Andrew. I'm actually gonna go there. So I appreciate you kind of confirming that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and look at, I also want to look at the hadith, because there's some hadith that talk about this. And let's just look. Yesterday, I was looking at hadith because I was trying to do a study about what the Quran says about orphans. And man, very shameful, but it says here, this is about Aisha. This is unrelated to our topic, but excuse me, you guys. It says the disciplining of orphans was mentioned in the presence of Aisha, and she said, I would beat an orphan until he submits. Inni la adrub اليتيم حتى ينبسط. So I would beat the orphan until, I mean, it just shows you, she sounds pretty, I don't want to say crazy, but pretty, she's beating orphans. How badly would she beat them? And the word here is darab, ladrub, which is the same word that's used in chapter 4, verse 34, when it talks about beating your wife. The word there is darab, udrubu hunne. Here it's ladrub, the adrub. Okay, same word. It doesn't say nothing about lightly here. I'll beat the orphan lightly. It just says, she says she'll beat him until he submits. Okay, that's not really related to our topic, but I think it's interesting. This is also by Aisha, and it's related to this verse. Okay, so, oops, am I showing this? Oh, okay, it's showing. I wonder why it doesn't have that thing. Like, oops. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. Now, this is also by Aisha, and I believe this is what our brother showed us here. It says, there was an orphan girl under the care of a man. He married her. Now, I wonder what it says in Arabic here. كانت له يتيمة فنكحها. يا بيي يا بيي. If there's any Arabic speakers who would like to come up and explain to us what this verse just said. I'm going to put it in Google Translate and let you guys read it. Okay. It's saying it. The Google Translate kind of caught on to this. They're aware that we're aware. And so it gave the kosher translation. It says that there was a man who had a orphan girl. So he married her, according to Google Translate. But the word here is not married her. The word here is fanakaha, and it has also the Arabic word nikah, which does not mean to marry. It means to do the deed. And so that's what it says here. In rajulun kanat lahu yatima fanakahuha. وكان له عذق وكان يمسكها عليه ولا يكن لها من نفسه شيء. Okay. There was an orphan girl under the care of a man. He married her, and she owned a palm garden. He married her just because of that, and not because he loved her. So the divine verse came regarding this case. If you fear you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphan girls, the sub-narrator added, I think that orphan girl was his partner in the date palm garden and in his property. Okay. Now, what the verse is the one we just read from the Quran. It says, let me go with the Yusuf Ali. Okay. He's not really completely honest. I think actually the Pickthall is the best. It says, if you fear that you will not deal justly by the orphans, marry of the women who seem good to you. 2, 3, or 4. And if you fear you cannot do justice to so many, then one only, or the captives that your right hands possess. Thus it is more likely that ye will not do injustice. Okay, that's the Pickthall version. So here it's telling them, it's weird. It's like there's missing periods and stuff. Yeah, very strange. And anyway, so this is what brought it about. Is this guy had a little orphan girl, and he wanted to marry her, uh, and so he did. So, all right, but there's another story that also explains, helps us to understand this verse. Why did this verse talks in such a bizarre way about the orphan girls? Okay, and so this was, and so Aisha said something. Let's read what it is. Narrated by Urwa bin Zubair. Okay, he's very exalted in Iraq. Okay, and this was says. Then he had asked Aisha of the meaning of the statement of Allah. If you fear that you will not be able to deal justly with the orphan girls, then marry other women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. She said, "O my nephew, this is about the orphan girl who lives with her guardian." Okay. Um, so she said, "Oh, my nephew." Okay, so Urwa, who is very, very common, Urwa is very well known in the Hadith. He's very often quoted, and he's Aisha's nephew, okay, her sister's son, and he's very prominent in the Hadiths that relate to Aisha. He's the one who has, about her saying that she was 6 years old when she got married, and 9 years old when she was violated by Muhammad, and then 18 when he died. And Arwa bin Zubair, he's one of the narrators in that Isnad chain. Okay, Aisha said, "Oh, my nephew, this is about the orphan girl who lives with her guardian and shares his property. This is about the orphan girl who lives with her guardian and shares his property. Her wealth and beauty may tempt him to marry her without giving her an adequate mahar, bridal money, which might have been given by another suitor. So such guardians were forbidden to marry such orphan girls unless they treated them justly and gave them the most suitable mahar." Okay. Uh, After that verse, the people began to ask Muhammad the Prophet, okay, orphan. After that verse, people began to ask the Prophet about the marriage with orphan girls. So Allah revealed the following verses. They ask your instruction concerning the women. Say, Allah instructs you about them and about what is recited upon you in the book concerning the orphan girls, to whom you give not the prescribed portions, and yet whom you desire to marry. 4127. Let's just look at 4127 really quickly. I know what 4128 is, but I'm curious about 4127 now. It says, let's read this together here. They ask you your legal instruction concerning women. Say, Allah instructs you about them and about what is recited unto you in the book concerning the orphan girls, whom you give not the prescribed portions as regards mahar and inheritance, and yet whom you desire to marry. and concerning the children who are weak and oppressed. Okay, let's see what Pixel says. They consult you concerning women. Say, Allah giveth you a decree concerning them, and the scripture which hath been recited unto you giveth decree concerning female orphans, and those unto whom you give not that which is ordained for them, though ye desire to marry them, and concerning the weak among the children, and that you should deal justly with orphans. Okay. Yeah, that didn't really help very much, but we're still kind of in the dark about this, but you know, it's saying that if you let's read this one more time. Is this the one? Yeah. And if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphan girls, then marry other women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you shall not be able to deal justly with them, then just one. The one thing that's just difficult to see just by reading it is the connection. But I understand now that Aisha, and they explained that it was a guy who married his orphan, an orphan girl, possibly a slave, I guess. And yes, sorry, you guys. I didn't know what happened there. I got lost. I ended up going into the wrong room, and so sorry about that, dude. I think I'm getting old, man. And all right, so there you kind of got a little bit of an understanding of what of what exactly and somebody mentioned the Ibn Kathir. And I think Ibn Kathir does explain this. I think I just want to go look at what Ibn Kathir says. Okay, before 1 minute. Okay. Let me just here. Tafsirs. Having a hard time here getting our okay. No. Tafsir. Okay. I'm kind of curious, first of all, to see what Ibn Abbas says about this. Okay. It says, and if you fear that you will not deal fairly with the orphans, and if you fear you will not preserve the orphans' wealth, you should also fear not dealing fairly with women in relation to providing sustenance and apportionment. This was because they used to marry as many women as they liked, as many as 9 or 10. Qais ibn al-Harith, for example, had 8 wives. Muhammad had 13 or 9 at least. Allah forbade them from doing so and prohibited them from marrying more than 4 wives, saying, marry of the women who seem good to you. Marry that which Allah has made lawful for you, 2 or 3 or 4. It's not what it says. It says 2 and 3 and 4. Marry 1, 2, 3, or 4, but do not marry more than 4 wives. And if you fear you cannot do justice to 4 in relation to apportionment and providing sustenance, then only 1. Okay? And then marry only 1 free woman, or that your right hands possess of captives, as many of those as you want. Okay, so encouraging having sex with your slave girls. Okay, so now let's go. Let me just look at Jalalain, see if he talks about it. I'm not sure if he does. Okay, 4.3, he does. Or 4.2. Is it 4.2? Okay, the following was revealed regarding an orphan who demanded his property from his guardian, but was refused it. Give the orphans, the underage ones that have no father, their property when they have reached maturity, and do not exchange the evil, the unlawful, for the good, the lawful, that is, taking the one in place of the other, as you do when you take what is good from the orphan's property and leave him in your faulty property instead. Okay. And absorb not the property by adding it to your prosperity. Surely that the absorbing of it is a great crime and a serious sin. When this was revealed, they found it difficult to maintain guardianship over orphans, and some of them had 10 or 8 wives under their care and did not treat them all equally. And so the following was revealed. Okay, it's interesting because he's not dealing with the topic. But okay, let's look what our friend Ibn Kathir says. Oops. Okay. Allah commands that the property of the orphans be surrendered to them in full when they reach age of adolescence, and he forbids using or confiscating part of it. So he said, and do not exchange your bad things for their good ones. Okay, do not substitute the weak animals of yours for their fat animals. Okay, do not give something bad quality or something of good quality. Okay, so this is the reason why Ibn Kathir says here, and if you fear you shall not deal justly with the orphan girls, then marry. You see, they put that word other women, but in the Arabic, it doesn't say that. It says, in khuftum ila taqsutu fil yatama fa inkahu du nikah ma tab, of what is yours of women. So the word is not marry there. It's doing the deed. That's what it's saying. So there you have it, you guys. Let me see here. Do we have the word again? Tankahun. uh, whom you desire to marry. Verse 127 refers to a guardian who does not desire to marry orphan girl under his supervision because she is neither wealthy nor beautiful. The guardians were forbidden to marry the orphan girls possessing property and beauty without being just to them, as they generally refrain from marrying them when they are neither beautiful nor wealthy. Okay. All right. So if you can make sense of that, like I said, I have someone I sent an invitation to. He's a Muslim, and I was talking to him a little bit earlier, and I sent him an invitation to come join us. It'd be nice if he could come and help us to understand this because it doesn't make sense. So, all right. So anyway, that's kind of what we want to talk about, just a little about this very strange and very weird verse. And so um, anyway, let's go ahead and want to look at a couple things here. Okay, there's the verse. It's just saying that she would beat the slave, the orphan, until he submits. Yanbusset. Okay. All right. I wanted to look also at another topic, and this is the topic of. Let me see if I found this here. What did I do with it? All state. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I found something else that that Muhammad stole from the prophet Ezekiel. Now you know in the you know that in the Hadith there is a very strange passage that um, um, Magog. Okay, burning weapons of Yajuj. Yajuj. Okay. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, the Muslims. Okay. Okay, here it is. Okay, I've talked about this, but let me just show it to you again here. Muhammad says it was narrated by Nawas that Muhammad said the Muslims will use the bows and arrows and shields of Gog and Magog as firewood for 7 years. Here it's the Muslims doing it. And I've shown you the passage in Ezekiel where this is taken from. Ezekiel, it's in Ezekiel 39. Exactly, almost word for word, but it's not the Muslims doing it. So let me show you what it says in Ezekiel 39. Okay. It says, then those who live in the towns of Israel, not the Muslims, will go out and use the weapons for fuel and burn them up. The small and large shields, the bows and arrows, the war clubs and spears. For 7 years they will use them for fuel. They will not need to gather wood from the fields or cut it down from the forest. They will use the weapons for fuel. Almost identical to what Muhammad said. And so, where did he get it from? You know, obviously from the Jews that he exiled or genocided. So, yeah, I was gone there for a minute. I'm not sure what happened. I somehow got out and I came back into the wrong page. So that's why it took me a while to get back. But I found another passage, another hadith that another hadith that Muhammad obviously took. Let me see, where did I put it here? Okay. Orphans. Oh, wait a second. I just had that. Best example, 4131. Shoot. I just had it a minute ago. Okay, here it is. Here's another passage that Muhammad obviously stole from Ezekiel. Let me bring you guys up here again. All right. And let's see if you guys can recognize this this hadith. Okay. And here's the window. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to read it, and as I read it, let's see if you guys can. Figure out where this is from. Okay. And oops, what happened? Yo, boy, yay! Took me an hour to bring it up. Now it's gone. Okay. Window. Okay, here it is. And it says, the messenger of Allah said, on the day of resurrection, the sun will come so close to the people that there should only be left the distance of 1 mil. Sulaim bin Amir said, by Allah, what I do not know whether he meant by this mil the mile of distance measure or the stick used for applying antimony powder to the eye. Yo, boy, yeah. You guys, this is funny. He says, I don't know when, because Muhammad used the word meal, but the people who are listening to him don't know. He says the meal is what's, when women put mascara on their eye, they put the little stick in the mascara and they take it out, and the word for that is meal. So he thought, so the sun's going to come as close as that little stick that Muhammad used to use to put mascara on, or does it mean a mile? And in Arabic, at least among the Palestinians, when they say mile, they use the word mead as for the word mile. So by Allah, I do not know whether he meant mil, the mile of the distance measure, or the stick used for applying powder to the eye. Okay. Now this is interesting, guys. Muhammad says on Judgment Day, the sun's going to come so close, it's only going to be a mile away. Imagine that. It's 93 million miles away right now, but Muhammad said it's going to come, the sun's going to come as close as a mile away. This is a good question to ask Grok. I think Grok will be honest in answering this. Let's see. What would happen if the sun was a mile away from the earth?
Earth would instantly vaporize. At 1 mile away, the sun's surface, over 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, would swallow us whole. Plus, its gravity would tear the planet apart in seconds. No warning, no survival, just gone. That distance is insane compared to our actual 93 million miles. Even a few million miles closer would boil the oceans. A single mile, total annihilation.
Why did Muhammad say that on Judgment Day, the sun is going to be a mile away from the earth.
Yeah, that's a real hadith, narrated in Sahih Muslim and Tirmidhi. The Prophet Salih Alaihi Wasallam said on Judgment Day, the sun gets brought so close it's just a meal away from people. Some scholars say meal might mean a literal mile. Others think it could refer to the small stick used for applying kohl to the eye, like super close, right above their heads. In this world, that would melt everything instantly. But on that day, the rules change. Bodies are made to endure it. And the only thing that actually burns is your sins. People sweat up to their ankles, knees, waist, or even drown in it, exactly according to what they've done. Good deeds keep the heat off you.
Okay. Well, there. So anyway, Muhammad doesn't know what he's talking about. But oh shoot, I actually do want to continue reading that because I wasn't done with it. There's the part that's like Ezekiel. The part that's like Ezekiel is this. Oops. Okay. Shoot, what happened? Okay. All right. Can you guys see that? I'm sure. I mean, okay. But this is the part that is like Ezekiel. And again, I'll give you guys a chance to figure out where I'm a big Ezekiel fan. And so when I saw this, I instantly remembered this this prophecy in the book of Ezekiel. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and read the rest of this. It says, a stick used for applying antimony powder to the eye. The messenger of Allah, however, reported to have said, the people then will be submerged in the perspiration according to their deeds. Some up to their ankles, some up to their knees, some up to the waist. Some will have the bridle of perspiration reaching their mouth and nose. And while saying this, the messenger pointed to his mouth with his hand. Okay. Does anybody recognize where this comes from? Does anybody recognize where this comes from? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go ahead and look at it. It's in Ezekiel 47, excuse me. It says, okay, then he led me back to the bank of the river. I arrived there and saw a great number of trees on each side of the river. He said to me, this water flows toward the eastern region and goes down to the Arabah, where it enters the Dead Sea. Oops. You know what? This isn't exactly what I was looking for. Oh, okay. No, here. As the man went eastward with his measuring line in his hand. Now, you see, if Muhammad had read this, I wonder if the measuring line is what he's comparing to the mascara stick. I don't know, but it's just interesting that there's a stick involved too. It says, he measured off 1,000 cubits, and led me through the water that was ankle deep. He then measured off another 1,000 cubits and led me through the waters that was knee deep. He measured off another 1,000 and led me through water that was up to the waist. Okay, does that sound familiar? I got the ankle, the knee, the waist. Okay. Let's just look one more time at Muhammad's plagiarized version of this. Oops. Okay. It says, the people will be submerged in perspiration according to their deeds, some up to their ankles, some up to their knees, some up to the waist. So Muhammad took this just word for word from the prophet Ezekiel and put it in his hadith. So let's go back to the Ezekiel version again. And the man went eastward and measured off. He led me through water that was ankle deep. He then measured off another 1,000 cubits and led me through the water that was knee deep. He measured off another 1,000, led me through water that was up to the waist. He measured off another 1,000, and now it was a river that I could not cross because the water had risen and was deep enough to swim in. A river that no one could cross. So there you have it. It's exactly almost the identical words Muhammad took and put in the hadith. Oh, you're thinking of Revelation 14. You know what? There's a lot of revelation. There's a lot of revelation in that too. Oh yeah, that was blood. Yes, but in Ezekiel it talks about water as well, about the river that comes from heaven, or that is in heaven, which is symbolic of the Holy Spirit. So anyway, Muhammad stole that too. He you know what? Sometimes, what I like to do is just read the hadith, just because you find crazy stuff. Man, you find such crazy stuff. It's like, dude, let me see if I have any of it. I could just show you real here. Let me see if I can find anything. Okay. Okay, Muslim. Okay. Okay. This one is about us Arabs. It says, and his saying in the hadith, he created the creation and placed me above the best of them. And he chose the best of them into two groups and placed me in the best group. The hadith is explicit, preferring the Arabs over others. Hating Arabs as a race and opposing them is disbelief or a reason for disbelief. Okay, so yeah, that was yesterday. But it's just showing you how the belief that the people of the Sunni community is that the Arab race is superior to non-Arab races. Quraysh is the best among the Arabs. Banu Hashim is the best among the Quraysh. And the messenger is the best among the... Okay, and because... Thus it has been established for the messenger that he is superior both in his person and lineage. Otherwise, the lineage would have precedence. Okay. Here's another one. It says, the majority of scholars agree that the Arab race is better than others, just as the Quraysh tribe is better than others, and the Banu Hashim lineage is better than others. Okay, so anyway, just kind of, this is Ibn Taymiyyah, saying that, the Arabs are superior to others. So since I'm an Arab, I agree. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to point this out that, the book is rather racist, okay, to say the least. All right. Well, I didn't think I was going to make it an hour, man, but we almost made it. So Praise God, man. Um, all right. Let's see a couple of nice things. Let's just end with a couple of nice things that Muhammad says about black people. Muhammad had a tremendous fondness for black people. Okay, and so let's just look, see if we could find some here. Okay, I think it's in. Hey, the monkeys. Ah, hmm. All right, let's see if we can put these in the desktop here real quickly. Hmm. Okay, let me go back here and try this again. Dude, I'm not having much technical success tonight. Okay, here, let's try it this way. Um, Lisa. Oops, I got the wrong one again. Dang. Sorry, guys. Just messing up here real big tonight. Hmm. Okay, orphans. Lisa. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's just look at a couple of these. Kind words by Muhammad about black people. Um, there's a famous one. Listen and obey your chief, even if an Ethiopian whose head is like a raisin were made your chief. So that's what Muhammad thought about black people. Their head is like a raisin. And Abu Darda reported God's messenger saying, God created Adam. When he created him, he struck his right shoulder and brought forth his offspring, white like small ants. He struck his left shoulder and brought forth his offspring, black as though they were charcoal. Then he said to the party on his right side, to paradise, and I do not care. And he said to the party on his left shoulder, to hell, and I do not care. So beautiful words. And then here it says, the slave came and pledged to the prophet to emigrate, and the prophet did not realize he was a slave. Then his master came looking for him. Muhammad said, sell him to me. And he bought him for 2 black slaves. Then he did not accept the pledge from anyone until he asked, is he a slave? Okay, so there he gave 2 black slaves for 1 Arab slave. So kind of shows you. And there's one other hadith, and you guys know it. And it was written, and it says, anyone who calls Muhammad black is to be killed. Anyone who says Muhammad is black is to be killed. That's what it says in one of the hadiths. Just to show you, this guy was massively racist. And there's also, he talks about the Turks. And he says the Turks, their faces are like beaten shields. Their noses are flat. They got tiny, squinty little eyes. Racist, racist, my goodness. And then about the Kurds, he calls the Kurds demons. He calls the Kurds demons. So just shows you, it just kind of shows you how racist he was. Yeah, to say those terrible things about those people. So, all right, you guys. Well, you know what? It just became past an hour. So, thank you guys for being with us. And I don't know if we have any Muslims who'd like to come on. I already put I put the link. Let me put it again. I'll put it again and count to 10. I'll put it again and I'll count to 10 if any Muslims want to come up. Put it again and I count to 10. Okay, there's the link. And let's go ahead and count down together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, you guys. Thank you for being with us. If you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. We love you, but much more importantly, he loves you. Have a great night.